Well, good morning and welcome back to our journey through Lent toward the crucifixion of Jesus and the celebration of the resurrection on Easter Sunday. During the week of the crucifixion, Jesus' teaching became more and more apocalyptic and quite antagonistic toward the Jewish leadership. One such example is found in the parable of the landowner, which is in Matthew chapter 21. And Jesus tells the story of a landowner who planted a vineyard and put a wall around it and dug a wine press in it and built a tower and rented it out to the vine growers and then went on a journey. Now, the symbolism of the story is identical to a similar story in Isaiah chapter 5. And no doubt, the Jewish leaders would have immediately recognized the text from Isaiah. Now, in the parable, Jesus tells that when harvest time approached, the landowner sent his slaves to the vine growers to receive his produce. The vine growers took his slaves and beat one and killed another and stoned a third, and so he sent another group of slaves larger than the first, and they did the same thing to them. But afterwards he sent his son to them, saying, "They'll respect my son." But when the vine growers saw the son, they said among themselves, "This is the heir. Come, let us kill him and seize his inheritance." So they took him and they threw him out of the vineyard and they killed him. Therefore, when the owner of the vineyard comes, Jesus asks, "What will he do to these vine growers?" And they said to him, "He will bring those wretches to a wretched end and will rent out the vineyard to other vine growers who will pay him the proceeds at the proper seasons." And Jesus responded to them, "Did you never read in the scriptures?" Well, of course they had. "Did you never read in the scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected, this became the chief cornerstone. This came about from the Lord, and it is marvelous in our eyes." The answer, they were certainly familiar with this statement from Psalm 118. And Jesus then makes the following prophetic statement to these chief priests and Pharisees. "Therefore I say to you, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people producing the fruit of it. And he who falls upon this stone will be broken to pieces, but on whomever it falls, it will scatter him like dust." This parable and Jesus' prophetic declaration was an apocalyptic statement concerning the judgment that was going to come upon these Jewish leaders for rejecting Jesus as their Messiah and for killing him. And Matthew chapter 21, verse 45, makes it very clear that they understood what Jesus was saying. And the incredible thing is, they continued with their plan. When the chief priests and the Pharisees heard his parables, they understood that he was speaking about them. And in these final days, Jesus openly confronted the religious leaders, exposing their hypocrisy and warning them from the scriptures about what was going to happen to them. They thought that by killing him, they would remove their threat to their position and their power and their prestige and wealth. They never counted on the fact that he really was the Messiah, that he really would rise from the dead, and that he would execute his vengeance upon them. The resurrection changed everything. Well, thanks for joining me this morning. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow morning as we continue to unpack the significance of the murder of Jesus. I hope you go out and make today a great day.